There are games that aim to challenge you with their intricate level design or impress by their grand visuals, or perhaps engulf you in a complex narrative that would put the greatest writers of our time to shame. And then there are games that offer something completely different, a humble feeling of childhood filled with mysteries that we often make up ourselves in order to keep us and our friends entertained during the long summer break. A sense of adventure, getting to know your surroundings and coming up with ideas that can only come from a child's imagination. There's this rare breed of games that takes us back to the simpler days, when the grass was greener and time seemed to go by way slower. That's exactly the kind of vibe I got from playing arguably one of the most, if not the most overlooked games on the Nintendo 3DS, Attack of the Friday Monsters: A Tokyo Tale. It's a game set somewhere in the 1960s or 1970s that tells us a story of a young boy named Sota who recently moved in with his family to a suburban area near Tokyo that happens to be a filming location for a popular TV show about monsters and heroes. We learn about the popularity of these shows and where it comes from during the opening credits of the game, which also gives us some kind of an insight into the life of Japan during that time period. Of course, you could learn a lot more just by reading through articles, literature, or simply watching dedicated videos about this, but it's nice to see this time period being represented in a video game. Actually, a lot of things in Attack of the Friday Monsters feel like they were made with mostly the Japanese audience in mind, which makes sense since it was published by one of the most famous gaming companies in Japan, Level 5. The main gameplay loop is pretty simple. You go around the small town, talk to locals, complete different missions that are presented as 26 TV episodes, most with unique stories telling us a little bit about the small town and around the monster attacks that happen every Friday. Well, hence the name Attack of the Friday Monsters. There's also a bit of a collectathon element thrown in where you have to collect monster glims that are scattered across town. Once you find the required number of the same monster glim, you get a card that can be later used to battle other kids in a game of monster cards. Does this activity serve any particular purpose? On the whole, it doesn't, except for one of the last episodes where it is mandatory to defeat one of the kids in order to progress the story. Just like many things from our childhood, not everything has to make sense because we did it not to achieve some grand goal or promotion, but because it was fun. Though the loser of the card game does become the winner's servant, yeah. I guess it's fine for a kid's game. I mean, as long as nobody gets hurt. This carefree attitude and feeling of a never-ending warm Friday evening, when you know there are 2 days of weekend up ahead and many cool stuff to do, is what really sets Attack of the Friday Monsters apart from many other titles that focus too much on the complex and not enough on the simple things. Yeah, what a great way to put it. Amazing writing skills. Attack of the Friday Monsters somehow manages to balance between being a chill experience that can be enjoyed in bite-sized episodes, and at the same time a narrative-driven game that makes the most basic setting feel unique, lively, and mysterious. I was always doubting whether the things I heard were real or not. If you could argue that the child characters actually believe in everything they hear or say regarding monsters and aliens invading the town every Friday, then it's a lot trickier to distinguish where the adults are simply playing along with their protagonist and his ideas, or really think that way. It's a unique dynamic that at times makes you feel so naive, yet cunning, bold, yet shy. And I simply love it. What's more impressive is that the whole game will take around 3 hours to complete, and there's no filler at all within these 3 hours. Everything has a purpose, everything is well written and has an ending which didn't always go the way I expected but was enjoyable nonetheless. Within a short period of time, I got to meet many different characters with unique stories that set them apart. Be it a mysterious man who claims to be an alien, a young adult woman trying to find joy in her recently acquired job at the TV station and a purpose in life, or just some kids you've just met, every story is memorable and has this carefree feeling about it. Sure, some of the episodes might be harder to complete than others simply due to a lack of proper guidance and the fact that some stories end earlier than the ones that came before them, but this is so irrelevant in the grand scheme of things that I don't even consider this to be a negative. Except for the laundry delivery episode, which I couldn't complete no matter how hard I tried, and using a guide wasn't really my thing. The art style, the music gives that wonderful Professor Layton vibe, but set in more modern times. Though the visuals do look a little rough around the edges at times, but for a small 3DS title, it's fine. The only issue is that you can no longer officially play this title as the eShop was shut down by Nintendo. So unless you happen to have it already installed on your console, have a hacked system lying around, or you're a complete psycho and emulate 3DS games, the gate is closed as this game only came out on the Nintendo 3DS. Which is a shame, as I believe more people should at least give Attack of the Friday Monsters a go, as it won't take up too much of your time, but will definitely leave a warm feeling in your stomach with a reminder of what it was like to be a kid. Have you ever heard of this game? Perhaps you've had the opportunity to play it yourself? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. Take care, and remember, only play games that are worth your time. See you in the next one. Bye.